Barbers.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, everybody? I
And
go by the name of Ismarvy Marv, and you are now tuned into Gem Talk, where we do our best to have conversations that inspire greatness. And today, I got Will Stam co-hosting with me once again. What's good,
What
Will?
up, y'all? What up? What up?
We chilling. And today's a great day, man, because we got Dre Clipperhands
what
doing
up? What
his
up?
first podcast, bro. Welcome to the podcast world.
I'm excited to be here, man.
That's what's up, man. I'm
And,
excited. I'm excited to have you, man.
This is the first time y'all have met, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen Will through IG, and then I've met Marv, I believe, once or twice. I think CT, and then Jack's Elite last year. So, yes, sir. Fairly new.
Good stuff. Hey, thank God for the internet, right? Thank God for the internet.
Yeah, man. I've been watching you, bro, for a while, and the thing that me and Will have agreed upon when it comes to doing this together is we want to have people on here that we truly believe are bringing value to the industry, that we truly believe are a positive influence for barbers, and are leading with the right intentions. You know what I'm saying? And I've been following you for a while now. I've been seeing your content. We've met, like you said, a couple times. I felt your energy. So when we're both brainstorming about who we're gonna have on Gem Talk, and Will's like, "Yo, what about Dre Clipperhands?" I'm like, "Let's do it." You know what I'm saying? So
Shout out Will, man.
yeah, shout outs to Will
Yeah.
for that. So I'm like, "Yo, Dre, you down?" And I loved it because you was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So appreciate you for taking the time to kick it with us. We both I'm more in tune with you than Will. You know, Will's seen some of your stuff more recently, but you know, even with him seeing it more recently, we both appreciate what you're doing, and hopefully we get to learn a little bit more about you tonight, and
Absolutely,
you know, we can add some value to the beginner barber. So thanks again, bro.
No, thank you for having me. I'm gonna plug this in real quick. My computer just unplugged, but I'm right here.
Okay, he's dipping out real quick. He's running, folks. He's running. He's like, yo, I gotta get my grit shirt on. Yo, hold up, though. Will, what's up, bro?
Man,
You ain't got the black tee on now. Hold up, what's up, bro?
Man.
Oh yeah, where's it at?
Do I need to go change?
Bro, we need the black tee.
Hold on,
you get the black tee. I'll talk with my boy Dre real quick. Dre, so when did you get started in the barbering, man? What led to that for the people who aren't familiar with you? How'd you decide you want to pick up the clippers?
Yeah, so I was about in middle school when I started to really care about how I look. And granted, at the time, my mom was only able to take me to the barbershop about once a week. Can you guys hear me? Because it just went to me only.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm just doing some camera angle switch type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that made me nervous. I said,
"Oh, Bill's out of there." So you get the solo layout.
Yeah. So I started off really caring about how I look in middle school, but my mom wasn't able to take me as frequently as I wanted. And we had went through a period of time where my mom was cutting my hair. And so I knew we had some like leftover clippers at the house, and I knew my uncles had cut their own hair. So I was like, man, I want a haircut really bad. I want to do this once a week. So I'm gonna try it. So I tried it. Absolutely butchered myself. I did like a one guard with the bald fade. I thought it was clean. Looking back, that thing was super zigzaggy. And then from there, I fell in love with it. I started asking my cousins, like begging them to cut their hair. They would let me start off with a lineup, then a whole haircut. And then when I got to high school, it just kind of transitioned into my friends. And around like junior, senior year, I made the decision. I told my mom, I want to go to barber school. And thankfully, she was real supportive. But barbering, out here in Ohio they didn't know what it could be, right? It was not really big. It was just the local barbershops on the street corner. So no one really knew like what it could be, but I did, right?
Yeah.
Through social media. And she was supportive. She signed me up. I graduated high school in 2017. And then I started that following September. So
when you say you knew barbering could be big because of social media, who were some of the first barbers that you came across that introduced you to this world? For me, I've been doing this since I graduated school in 2011. I started going to events around 2012, 2013. And I remember some of the first names I seen back then were like A-Rod, shout out to A-Rod, he's still doing it. Papito Blessed Hands, Jay Majors, because it was the Connecticut Barber Expo.
Yeah.
So those were some of the people that I seen early on initially that showed me that barbering could be bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And then, you know, seeing their content and all of that really opened my eyes to a new world. So who was it for you?
So for me, was Chris Basio. Obviously, I would say that's most people that started cutting in my era.
Shout outs to Basio.
Shout out
For
Basio.
sure.
Then there was 360 Jeezy. At the time, another big one was E. Jones. I don't know if you guys remember E. Jones.
I don't know if I see.
He was the one on YouTube that made it really popular to put like a basketball player and then the haircut and be like the Steph Curry haircut tutorial.
Got you.
He was the one that kind of made that trend popular.
I have to search him up after this.
Yeah, it was him, and then yeah, like the OGs, like Vic the Barber. You know what I'm saying?
Shout outs to Vic. I learned, bro. He taught me how to fade, bro.
And then there was this one guy he was light skinned. He had like really light blue eyes, curly hair. I think he's with Andis or was, and then him as well. So
Dave. You talking about
yes,
Dave?
Yes, sir.
Dave. What's Dave's last name again? I'm having a brain fart. Dave. Will's like, I don't know. I don't be at it.
Yo.
Will's like, I taught myself.
Shout out to Will. Will's back with the black tea. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, Vic the Barber, not Vic Blends, guys. Vic the Barber.
Yeah.
He taught me so much, man, when it comes to like how to cut hair. He's one of the people that I watched a lot when I was in barber school, when I was early in you know, the barbering thing. So, you know, shout outs to the YouTube barbers, man. I think for a long time, YouTube barbers weren't getting that love like that.
They weren't.
Right? Instagram
barbers. There was like a battle between the two. I feel like.
Yeah, it was. It
was like during the time where elegance was like really popular. So it was like those cool transitions with the music, you know, designs, fibers, all that.
Bro, but the reason why Instagram barbers had the advantage, I think, and it's because they had the advantage because Instagram was more of a photo app.
Yeah.
And before it was a video app. So guess what you could do? You could Photoshop, bro.
The mess out of them too.
Right? So all these barbers were Photoshopping before we knew they were Photoshopping. So their work was looking pristine. Where on YouTube, you getting what you see. You know what I mean? So it's almost like I feel like some of the barbers got put on a pedestal because most of us didn't even know what Photoshop was. I remember when I found out about Photoshop, bro, I was heartbroken.
I was like, what?
I was heartbroken. But I think
and then you would go to a show and see them like do a class, and it's like, dang, your haircut does not look the same. You know?
Yeah.
Will started on YouTube, right? Will?
Yeah. I started on YouTube, and that's how I got into teaching. It was so funny because I opened up my first shop at 23, and I was hiring barbers, and they didn't have a clue how to cut. So me trying to save my own reputation on Google, right? I was like, yo, I got to teach you how to cut, bro. Like, they can't leave out of here like that. You know, when you first get your first shot, it's like your first baby, right? Everything, you know what I mean? Fresh outfits every day. Gonna be
well, Dre about to find that out, Will.
Yeah. Dre. Yeah, he'll be calling me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have some questions.
For sure. So I opened up the first shop, and I'm hiring these barbers because I mean, everybody said they're gonna come with you, but they're not. So you're gonna get your barbers from school. Right. And when they started coming into my shop, they couldn't cut. And I was like, yo, this is making me look bad. You know, when you get your first shop, you're like, yo, everybody on my team, they're going to be straight hitters. Like, we're going to have the best shop in the city. So you're 21, 22, 23. That's all you think. Like, we taking over the world. Right. And they couldn't cut. And I was like, yo, how do you got a license? Right. So I started teaching them out of necessity. And they were like, yo, you're really good. You should teach. I'm like, man, teachers don't make no money. I'm young, I'm 21, 22, 23. I'm like, man, teaching don't make no money. Immature, right? So I'm like, okay. So I just was like, well, I'll just record this video because like all y'all need help. You need to like take this video home.
All y'all need
like
work.
Watch it every day, right?
Fades, bro.
And so then I created a detachable blade tutorial, and it went crazy. But it was like a gift and a curse because people watched it and they started knowing it. So then anytime I was trying to get like a photographer or a videographer to record it, they were like, yeah, it's $1,000. And me, I'm not very tech savvy. At the time, all I did was haircuts every 30 minutes. I was just knocking them in and out.
Plus, back then we didn't have the tools we have
now.
Yeah,
exactly. So people loved the video. I got tons of comments and all that stuff. And I was like, everybody I was trying to get to record me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you got to get this angle. You know what I mean? Because if I can't do something right, I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
You recorded your first one yourself?
Nope.
Oh, a videographer did it?
I had a guy he was like, yo, Stan, let me practice with you. But then once he got the hang of it, his numbers went through the roof. I hired another guy, and then he did one and it went viral. And he, it's because of him, right? So it was like, you know what I mean? So now it's $850 for a video. And I said, listen, dog, I'm not paying $800 for a video for YouTube for me to give it away for free. I'm like, this just doesn't make sense to me.
He was waxing.
So, yeah, exactly. So then, I kind of gave up on it, and I was like, yo, whatever. And people still were like asking, but I just could never really figure it out because I always wanted the angle where I could get somebody to shoot directly over my ear. So it's like, you see what I see. I can't do that and do the haircut and talk, explain all that. So I kind of got frustrated and was like, look, man, I put out these little 10 videos and look, just watch them. You'll figure it out from there. And so that is what kind of got me into teaching. So then I went to barber school and got, taught, but I didn't really get taught anything on how to teach. Most barber instructors, when you go to barber school, and this is why I like my school is going to be legendary because I'm doing everything different. What you think barber school is not when you come in my door. I went to a barber school and I was teaching, but they were just like, teach what you know. Like, teach what you know. I'm like, but I don't know how to put a lesson plan together. I'm just out here talking.
Right.
They're like, well, just teach them that. And then I would teach it my way. And they're like, well, you can't teach it your way. You have to teach it my way. And I was like, what are you talking? I said, well, you ain't teach me. They're like, yeah, but I can't teach them your way when you leave. So it makes it harder. And I was like, okay, this is a problem because the person is trying to teach me is like 60 years old. I'm a 23-year-old shop owner, think I'm the greatest barber in the world. And you want me to sit behind a 60-year-old with these old behind techniques who want to do, you know what I'm saying, square curves and stuff. I'm like, bro, no. So I was frustrated. So I finished my 750 hours from there and that school closed. Every barber school I ever attended closed. So then I was like 2-3 years without able to take my test. So then finally I ran into the lady at the grocery store out here in Metro Atlanta and was like, yo, what do I got to pay you to get you to send my paperwork off? I'll figure the test out on my own. She sent it off. I went and took the test, got my license. So then I started working at barber schools and it was the same exact thing. I was in there teaching. I'm trying to do all this stuff. Oh, hold on. Something happened.
Not happened, bro.
Okay. Still here. All right. Something popped up on my screen, right? So I was like, so I went to the barber school and I'm teaching and I'm asking for certain resources. And I'm trying to teach the students how to cut. And they got these Walmart clippers. No guards. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They barely work. The kits were the wall balding clipper with the cord with no guards. That's what they was giving them. I'm like, yo, where your guards at?
That's crazy.
Them. You know what I mean? So I'm over here annoyed. I'm like, yo, I can't even teach these people because they ain't even got the tools. So now I'm just even more pissed off. I'm frustrated. I go to the ownership of the school and I'm like, yo, what do I like? Can we get some real stuff, like some walls or something? Can we get something? They're like, well, just teach them the basics to pass the test. We don't have to do anything else. So I turned around and quit. I said, look, man, I'm gonna open up my own. And then I went and did that because I was like, I'm not investing my time here and you don't want to grow. And that's the struggle that I'm sure you'll figure out here soon as you grow older in the game, that it's hard to follow a leader who isn't still growing at the same pace as you. And I learned a long time ago, when the leader stops growing, the leader got to stop leading. And so many people, when they get owned into one shop, they sit there and they get content.
They chill, right?
And what ends up happening is the people who were once inspired by you mentally outgrow you, and then they start leaving. So I always tell people, when you get into leadership, the race is on. You can't put it on cruise control. I got my dream. I got my goal, owning my own shop. You know what I mean? Most people chill right there. That's why you see so many one-chair barbershops. I mean, one shop brands.
Right.
Because they chill there. And people, they want opportunities for growth. So you got to keep raising the bar. And it's the responsibility. Once a person takes on that leadership role, it ain't like, okay, cool, I'm going to lead until right here and then I'm going to stop.
Well, that's what Dre about to do, bro. Dre about to open this shop, right? So you've been in a suite for a little while now, right? Or did you ever
Yeah,
work
so
in a barbershop, or did you go right to a suite?
yeah, so I graduated barber school in the end of 2018, going into 2019. And when I graduated, while I was at the end of school, I was actually working in a barbershop. They let me go in like after hours. And then once I graduated, I went there full time with the thought, because he was supposed to be opening a second location, but it ended up taking way longer than expected. So I was there about 8 months. Then I went to his second location and I stayed there for 3 years. Or no, it's like 2.5 years. So then after my 2.5 years there, that's when I went to the suite. So in September, actually, when the new shop should be opening, it'll be 3 years at the studio.
How's
Okay.
it been in the
Yeah.
studio, man? And one thing but before you go in, I've had, obviously you've seen my page, and me and Will alike have shared some of our insights when it comes to just the differences between a suite and a barbershop, right? And we like to speak more so on some of the things that people don't bring up, because it's the internet, right? So we all like to make everything look so glorious. So one of the perspectives I felt like was necessary to share is the stuff that people don't like to talk about. I mean, I do it from the barbershop side, I do it from my side, that vulnerable side. So when I'm hearing all of these voices and seeing these different things happen in suites and they're never being discussed, I feel it's important to introduce it. So sometimes obviously you get called a hater, you're hating on suites and all of this, and it's like, no, I think suites are right for the right person. The one person I really think suites are great for is that content barber that exists now, right? Because it provides that alone space where you can kind of just do your own thing. You ain't got to worry about anybody. It's similar to what I do with my barbershop, bro. When I'm making my skits, I'm going in on Sundays and Mondays. Nobody's there. The shop is closed. I get to do my own thing. It's like my big old barbershop
I was
suite,
wondering
right?
how you did that with everybody there, but it makes sense.
You don't, right? Because it
Right.
can be more challenging. Some of the YouTube tutorial, like cutting the hair type stuff you can do, but a lot of the stuff can be at least more challenging to do from a shop than a suite. So I do think the suite is great for that content barber, right? So when you went to the suite, did you know at that time you were going to be more of that content barber, or is that something that kind of got developed while you were in there?
Yeah, so I started making content, honestly, bro, as soon as I started cutting hair. And not because it was like a standard, like it wasn't really like super cool to do that at least when I started in 2018, it didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So all I've been doing the whole time was just documenting. So like at the end of barber school is when I started the YouTube channel. Then when I got into the barbershop, I was still recording. So I was already doing it when I got into the suite. But I knew that when I got into the suite, that that was gonna be like my main focus,
Right. So the suite was the cutting hair, building your clientele, growing the YouTube channel, right? In your mind, did you always know you were gonna lead towards opening in a barbershop, or is that
No,
something
so
that
I actually I never had a desire to open up a barbershop at all.
Let me back up real quick. I'm sorry, Dre. I want to get something before we get too far past it. What was the trigger that made you leave that barbershop to go open a suite?
So part of it was I did want what every barber says, the creative space. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But also the barbershop I worked at was a beautiful shop, like set a really high standard for how I want my shop to look. But everybody who worked there, like the only reason I wanted to work at the specific barbershop was because I was really close with the owner and I looked up to him. But he ended up transitioning into real estate and not cutting as much. And then everybody else was there was like 45 and up. So like everything from the music to the conversation, I'm 20, 21, 22. I just kind of felt like bored, out of place. I want to listen to my rap music. I couldn't do it. So yeah, that was really what pushed me. I still got love for them to visit, but that was really it. What I think a problem is a barber will never make content in their life and think that when they get to the suite that they're gonna lock in and they're really gonna do it. But like the thing is, if you have to start where you are, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't use that muscle exactly where you are, it's not just gonna switch on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I tell people that every day. Wherever you go, you got to take yourself with you. So if you don't do it here, you ain't gonna do it there. If you don't do it there, you ain't gonna do it over there. Like you are who you are.
Yeah,
Until
and you
make
might
that
start
change.
off. You might start off like foot on the gas, but like when you realize that content is actually really hard, and you lose motivation, they stop, and now they're just in an empty suite, come 5 heads a day, wondering why they're not booked. You know what I'm saying? So
I was wondering what the driving force was, because most people, and it's so interesting to hear your side of it, because most people are like, oh man, these owners are extorting, they don't take care of the shop, they ain't ish, this, that, and it's usually all bad, it's all negative. Yours was just, you were 21, 22, everybody in the shop was 45 and older. It was just a culture fit. Like you just felt like a fish out of water.
These old heads ain't keeping up, man.
Yeah,
They get
fish
stuck
out
in
of
time,
water,
bro.
Yeah, like I shared this story
that to
before.
me makes sense. That to me makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so even when I got out of barber school and I went to the first barber shop, like in my city, there was not a lot of young barbers. It was me and my other friend Lewis, went to barber school straight out of high school. Now we kind of set the pace for everybody out here. There's a lot of young barbers. So when I got to the barber shop, they had the ugly yellow lights from the ceiling of my first barber shop, shadowy on the haircut. So I brought in my ring light, I brought in my air compressor, I brought in the cool barber aprons, and like 2 months in, another dude ended up buying a ring light. Then all of them bought air compressors, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually the whole shop was like to that standard, you know? So I never really like looked at myself as like a leader, but like just through just doing what I do, I've learned that like I have been, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like I maxed out where I was. And at the time, the suite was where I wanted to go. And then now that I've been there for 3 years, it's on to the next. You know?
And
so now that you're coming out, what makes you come out? Because I've seen sweet people, they talk about suites for life, 25 plus years. Ain't nothing better. So
there are a lot of people that do say that the suite will teach them how to run a business, right? They plan to open a shop, but the suite would teach them how to run a business. And me and you have our thoughts on that. You know what I mean? Like, we have our thoughts, but at the same time, there are people that say they go to the suite because they want to prepare to open for a shop, which
that's a lateral move.
Yeah. I don't really understand it, but I understand what they're trying to say, but I don't think they really have thought it through. You know what I mean? When we were at opening the barbershop, what led to that? What led to that?
So for me, I mean, it kind of seems like the pattern is I'm somewhere for like 3 years and I get bored and I want to go to the next thing. This is how I'm wired.
Yeah.
But also I've been part of the, Chris Bassio's mentorship program. And just seeing the numbers on what he makes for his barbershop, a lot of barbers try to say like it's all about the passion and they do what they love and all that, which I do. I love barbering, but like I want to make more money. So when I saw like what you could actually make from owning barbershops, if done right, I wanted a piece of that. And I also feel like I'm at a place now where I could potentially cut a little less just based on what I do off of content and really focus on scaling the barbershop the right way. So, I felt like it was the right thing to do. And then through that mentorship, the entire process, I don't know if I would have been able to do it on my own. Everything from submitting the LOIs to the lingo you have in emails with the realtors, like, so that mentorship is really what opened my eyes to opening the barbershop. Because if not, it would have just been content.
Yeah, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you're doing it. You're doing it right.
Yeah, it's working. So I could see this continuing to scale, but I'm gonna do both.
Yeah,
really. So
that barbershop ain't gonna hurt. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you think worst case scenario, you do the barbershop and you do it and then you realize you don't like it. It's, you know what I mean? Like, you can still always reroute. But fortunately for you, you're wise enough at such a young age to know, like, okay, let me seek out some guidance and find some mentors, right? So when you look at somebody like Basio and everything that he's done and Tomb 45 has done, and you see what they've been able to do with barbershops and stuff, and they present the opportunity to say, hey, we're doing this 6-figure barber mentorship. You say, all right, let me see what this is about. And then you get in there, you learn some new stuff, and now you're like, okay, as long as I do what they're teaching me to do, I should be all right. Because when I look at my life and I look at the content stuff and all this research on how to be better at content, and I did what they told me to do, it's worked. When it comes to cutting hair, when I followed the steps that these good barbers, Vic the Barber, and all these guys showed me what to do, it worked. So, you're wise enough to get that mentorship. even before you opened the shop, because I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of barbers didn't do that become shop owners, and that's why we
one of the things
struggles,
when people ask me, right, being in the game 17, 18 years now, one of the people ask me, they're like, Will, who mentored you like in the game? And I always got a weird answer because it's been nobody. People have always gate kept. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I'm trying to build stuff, and it's like they want to keep me close, but they don't want to tell me like the real game. So I've been like a serial entrepreneur, since 21, because I'm like, look, I'll go figure it out. I don't have no problem failing. I don't care what nobody think. I just go do whatever, and I figure it out. And that's why I wanted to open up a school, because I'm like, if I can help mentor these people and teach these people the right way, they can take it way further than I'm gonna take it, because they gonna know what I know at 38, at 22, 23. Like, I got a bunch of young people in my classes, 19, 20 years old. And I just sit there and I'm like, yo, if you can listen to what I'm telling you, bro, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of them making 100,000 at 23, 24
that's
years
also
old.
that's also a big reason I wanted to do the barbershop as well. Cause I mean, I've been teaching on YouTube for so long, and I've now been able to teach a couple classes, and I really like teaching, So if I can do that, not in a barber school, because I don't know if I'm ready for something like that, but in a 10-chair barbershop, I want to do that,
Yeah. That's how it starts, though. That's how it started for me. I was teaching people on my team. Marv teaching people on his team. And then what gets addicting is starting to see the results. When you see people listen, like Marv has a social media course, right? When you have somebody who comes through his course and they do what he's telling them to do and they get results, he gets excited.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no when I do stuff,
right? There's no like, I tell Marv, I'm like, Marv, bro, you showed me this, and I'll send him a video. I'm like, look, bro. He's like, yes, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like, it could be something basic that I didn't know how to do, but it's like, we talk so much. 95% of people just listen and go to sleep. And they wake up and do nothing, right? And I always tell people, like, when they talk to me, I'm like, listen, you have to show me a result within the first 72 hours of us talking. Otherwise, I'm not answering the phone for you no more. And it sounds mean, right? But if you don't put into practice what I just showed you within the next 72 hours, the greater the chances are you never do anything with what I just told you at all. Because you have to make a move when the feeling is strong. Anytime you learn some new game, that's why when people go to events, right? They go to CT, they'll go to Vegas, they'll go to events, right? And they'll be on fire. Man, CT was the greatest. It was the best. Man, Marv, oh, man, bro, I can't wait to get back to my city. They go back to their city and do nothing. Because if you don't put into practice within 72 hours, CT ends on Monday. If you ain't got no YouTube tutorial or you ain't got no content creation or no posts or nothing by Friday, it ain't coming. And that's what people don't realize. So I always try to make sure when I learn something new, I got to write it down. I got to try it. I don't even care if it's terrible. I just got to implement what I do, because otherwise the chances of that me doing it at all is slim.
Yo, and I got a question for you. Dre, do you know who John Maxwell is?
I know the name. Is he a motivational speaker?
So check this out. First and foremost, and I got a couple questions for you, but first and foremost, I'm not going to let this dude Will just slip by the fact that John Maxwell been a hell of a mentor for him. We talk about nobody mentored me, all right? I get what he's
true
saying.
story. I was saying barbers. I was saying barbers.
I get what he's saying in the barber world, because barbers be gatekeeping and all of that. But this man, John C. Maxwell,
all these books right here.
Yeah, bro.
I had a feeling he's like a motivational speaker, right?
Yeah. Well, he's not a motivational. Guy. He's a motivational teacher. Like he's a really good. He's a leader. He's a leadership expert.
Okay.
So he trains all like the high level leaders of all the major companies. His books are phenomenal. You know,
the reason I brought him up was not that, to mess with Will a little bit, but more so for you, because you're now into this world where you didn't always look at yourself as a leader. That don't matter no more, Dre. You are. You know, you are in it. It's like you be that guy's like, yo, I don't want to fight. The dude's swinging at you now, bro. You're fighting. You're a leader. So with that being said, John C. Maxwell is going to be super valuable for everything that
Mm.
you're doing now and everything that you're going to do moving forward when it comes to you, running your barbershop and managing people
Mhm.
and leading people. And then even everything you're doing online with your academy, you know what I'm saying? And your
Mhm.
Mhm.
content. So I don't
Yeah.
know how much of a reader you are, but bro, look into
Yeah.
Johnson Maxwell and do your best
Yep.
to consume as much as you possibly can. Will can have even better recommendations than I have because
Mhm.
I've done some of the John Maxwell stuff,
Yeah.
but this dude is certified. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been to his events and all of that. That's why I wasn't just
Yeah.
gonna let him fly by that. Nobody mentored me.
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah.
clarify it,
For
but
sure.
it would be looking into him and consuming his stuff is
Yeah,
gonna
stuff,
help
yeah.
you
Because
tremendously.
when you get into ownership, man, the hair cutting stuff is a small percentage of it.
So small, man.
It's
Yeah.
it's 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 about building people. If you build big people, they become better barbers.
Mm.
But you got to build big people. And building big people is all about seeing others better than they see themselves.
Mm.
And then you have to, John says this all the time. He says, walk slowly through the crowd. That means basically make time for people. Early on, when I was a young entrepreneur, I was moving fast. I didn't want to waste no time. I was just on to the next thing, on to the next thing. You did just say that. Every 3 years, I feel like I'm on to the next thing. Now that you're a leader, you got to take responsibility for the people you lead. You're not going to be able to move as fast, right?
Mhm.
Because you're going to have to slow down and be available for them. I've lost people over building three barbershops, and the main reason why is because I was moving too fast. Some
Mm.
people joined me on my team, and as I got bigger and had ambitions and I had goals, looking back on it, the only reason why they left is because I didn't make time for them.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I had to make tough decisions and we didn't agree business wise. That's cool. But
Yeah.
some I just didn't make time for. You know what I'm saying? Because I was on to the next shop number 2, shop number 3. And every time I did that, the people at the old shop always got upset because I just didn't have time for them. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I feel like that's kind of part of it, though. You
it it,
know.
it is part of it, but I didn't make time for them at all.
Mm.
If I could do it over again, I would have made Mondays on my off day. I would have just called all of them and checked in
See how they're
weekly,
doing.
every 2 weeks. Hey, man, let's catch up for lunch. You got to make time for every single person on your team. You have to. You know what I'm saying? And then once you, especially early on, once you get bigger to the point like now, I got a couple shops and I got a school. I got 30 plus students, like 15 barbers right now.
Mhm.
And like, I know I got good relationships with everybody at the school because that's where I spend a majority of my time. But then a lot of the guys at the schools that as they graduate, they've joined my shops. So I'm vertically integrated now. So I'm always connected to all of them. And
Yeah.
that's why business is thriving. Did I see that 15 years ago? No.
That's
But
fire.
what I'm
Yeah, it's like a
learning,
system.
what I'm learning now is I'm building deep connections with them because I'm teaching them from like an infant. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They just now learning how to pick up the clippers.
Those are your kids for real.
Yeah, seriously. Like that's how it is, right? And I'm teaching them, you know what I mean? I'm grooming them, I'm mentoring them. It's like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
crazy. And then I teach them how to make money. They're structured business wise. They're saving for retirement. It's like I'm almost like the father figure to some of them. You know, especially when they're
That's so
19,
dope.
20. I'm 38. You know what I mean? So it's like now some of them are 28. They just respect my pedigree. And
Mhm.
then I'm teaching them. So whenever you're teaching somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's like, think about how you feel about Chris Bossio. I don't know y'all relationship, but he
Mhm.
taught you things. You've mentioned that the 6-figure mentorship has been invaluable to you.
Mhm.
Your respect level for Chris is through the roof because of what he's already instilled in you and what he's already put into you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that type of feeling don't leave because that education and that know-how that you got ain't left either. So
Mm.
that builds a deep connection, you know what I'm saying, that people can hold on to because they admire and they respect you. That's the level you're going to have to go to, you know what I mean, as a new shop owner, is building your people. Your people
Okay.
will build your business, right? So if Marv call you or Stam call you or somebody call you, say, hey, Dre, how's it going? And you say, yo, I'm about to go check on the shop. Now, you ain't checking on the shop. You checking on the people.
Mm.
They going to take care of your shop. So part of the next evolution for you will be just focusing on developing the people. When you were in a suite, it was just all on Dre.
Right.
When you take ownership of a shop, those your people. Be selective. as Gary Vee say, hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
Don't just hire somebody for some money because you need to fill these seats, because then you're not going to want to lead them. And when you don't want to lead them, they become cancer. Right? And then they infect all the other people in your shop. Hire slow, fire fast. As soon as you realize this ain't it, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. It's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying?
Be good though, man, because you got you got the right mindset. You know what I mean? You got the right mentorship, and you just got the drive, right? Because bro, like even before you were making money from content, you just were teaching people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to help people, trying to build people up before you were making money. Now you get an opportunity to make some money from it. It's a benefit. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's the benefit, but at your core, you've been doing your best to build people up. So it's just, you know, being conscious of being a better teacher and a better leader. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, it's like it's more of a discipline than it is like motivation. You know, like even what Will was saying, people go to events, you know, and get super motivated. And then once that motivation leaves, you see they don't post as much, right? Acting on the things that they had a fire for is because the conviction wasn't deep enough. You know, the bigger picture wasn't really ingrained in them.
And you got to have action. I always tell people, action bring the motivation. You can feel inspired, but that's like a 24-hour virus. You know what I mean? Once you put the action with the inspiration, then the motivation comes. Because think about it. Every time you act on new information, you learn. Nothing is more motivating than learning. Because people have aha moments. They're like, got it now. You're like, you're ready. You're like, yo, I'm ready. You know what I mean? So action is what brings motivation. People think you're motivated, then you act. No. Acting is purely a decision. Because you can be not motivated and still act. You can feel sad and still act. You can be happy and still act. You can be frustrated and still act. You know what I'm saying? So action brings and develops the motivation, and then consistent action brings momentum. So we go from motivation to momentum. Once you got momentum, now you start breaking barriers. Now you start knocking down. You start hacking algorithms. You know what I mean? If you're on social media, you got momentum. Like stuff just goes out of control. You're like, bro, I didn't know that was going to do that, but I'm cool. You know what I mean? So yeah. So action.
Yeah, that's a fact. I agree with that 100,000,000%. And you know, the cool thing about all of us is we're action takers, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we've been able to do so many of the cool things we've been able to do. And it's cool to see, you know, Dre, you're what, 25, right?
Yeah, 25.
You're 25 years old, you know what I mean? Building up in all these different ways, and you're about to, you know, open your own shop, and all of this is super exciting. And it's happening because, you know, you're learning and you're taking action. My question to you is, you know, you're going in the right direction, but if we go way back, right, to when Dre was first learning how to cut hair and get new people, what were some of the things that you were doing back then to build up? Because, you know, a lot of people that are watching this are beginner barbers, and, you know, the people that are going to watch this are beginner barbers, and they're hearing a lot of this, and it's inspiring them because it's like, that's what I want to do one day. But they're still at that stage where they're like, I can't even get my family to want to come get a free haircut from me. You know what I'm saying? So what were some of the things you were doing when you first started to cut people?
So a big one, I mean, like the practical sense of getting clients, is I cut my own hair. So, you know, I got pretty good because by the time I started cutting other people's hair, I had already been doing mine for like 2 years, you know? So, you know, people would see that I cut my hair. I would actually post that a lot. And then I would just ask my friends, like, bro, look, I did this on myself. I could get you right too. And obviously I just kept getting hit with no's and no's and no's. It got to the point where there was this one dude in my class, his name was Tracy, that I wanted to cut so bad, right? Because his barber was messing him up, but he thought his barber was fire. I was like, bro, I could do better than that. And one day, man, I got sick of it. I said, so Tracy, he flipped phones, right? Like he would take broken phones, broken screens, you know, fix them and then sell them. So I didn't know the iPhone, nothing was wrong with it. I was like, hey, bro, listen, I want to cut your hair so bad, bro. I will give you my old iPhone if you let me cut your hair. And you know, he let me do it.
Try to figure it out. How do I get him to?
And he let me do it. And I say that to say is you gotta like really want it, bro. I mean, it's a very like silly example. But like I was willing to give something up in order to gain something back, you know,
right? Because you seen big picture.
Exactly. That's my point. So, it started with that. And then obviously once you get a couple clients, if you take pictures and a simple video, little by little, a lot of times your haircuts don't even have to be good, but when people see that you're serious, they're willing to take that chance and sit in your chair, So I'll always focus on getting that one person, whether it be your cousin, whether it be your brother, and just market the heck out of them, bro. Like I was annoying with my posts, just like I am now.
So you would say that a lot of it was social media for you that got in.
In all honesty, yeah, social media was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And then just like my friend group, and my church, honestly. So my church, I was very involved in it. In my youth group, I had a couple of friends from school that went there. So when I went to youth group, I'd be like, hey, bro, let me cut your hair. And once I got them in the church, it just started to spread like wildfire, really, to where I got to cut the pastor. And once you cut pastor's hair, it's like
game over.
It was game over.
Yeah.
And a lot of those clients stuck with me for like a long time. I still have a handful of them,
Yeah.
But I think my social group and getting involved in the community, it doesn't have to be church for anybody watching. It could be, your friend group. It could be you joining something like some.
Hey, church is a good place though. Church is a good place to
absolutely.
start, man.
It is.
Everybody we've had on Gym Talks, bro,
Yeah.
has
It's
put
an
the spotlight
energy, Will.
on Jesus, man. Yes, man.
Yeah.
Energy,
For real, bro. Like people, I used to get frustrated being in the barbershop and people would come in and act like church is like a bad place. It's like, yo, man, it's not filled with perfect people. It's filled with a bunch of people who know they ain't perfect.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, just go there too.
Yeah.
Just go, just show up, man. People just they try to overdo it, man. And I'm just like, look, man, you were active in the church, then people supported you, and you were able to start some momentum off of that.
I mean, going back to how I started, I mean, really, when I started barbering and when I really gave my life to Christ was kind of hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So I was in 8th grade, going into 9th grade when I made the decision to give my life to the Lord. And in that process is when I found barbering, right? I was hooping like crazy, right? Because every 8th grader thinks they're going to the NBA, man.
I was going to the NBA at 5'1".
My mom used to tell me,
I was going.
My mom used to tell me, like, hey, have a plan B. And in my mind, I'm like, dang, you are hating. This is the way out. What do you mean?
Right, you are hating.
Yeah.
We all.
And then obviously I got realistic. I got cut my sophomore year. And so all that to say that I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for the direction the Lord has put me on, essentially. You know what I'm saying? From the very beginning,
Yeah. So you feel like, because as a beginner barber, we get overwhelmed, right? We get frustrated, we get discouraged. There are a lot of times where barbers feel like giving up. It's not all glorious, even though it may look that way a lot of times online. It's a lot of long nights, slow days,
some grind, man,
thinking and trying to figure it out. And so for you, when you're dealing with a lot of that, you feel like your God and your religion is what helped you, right? Like this
100%. Yeah, it started with way more than barbering, right? It was an actual like void in my life at the time that just left me insecure and really low, right? And then barbering just happened to come along the process. You know what I'm saying?
Barbering saved you, bro. That's what.
Well, Christ saved me, and then barbering gave me away.
So Dre, I want to get to this, right? You're in the process of building out a shop, right?
Right.
Talk about that. What have you learned? I know you got some challenges.
A lot. First, it costs a lot of money. Oh my God, it costs
just a little bit.
If you wanted to look a certain way.
So it costs a lot of money, but you still got to get these people cheap booth rent, right? You know that, right?
Heck no.
They want the first 30 days free, bro. They got to try it out, and you got to have some walk-ins.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not at that process yet. I got about 3 people. But
he gonna be praying. Yo, Drake gonna be praying. Lord, I want Jesus. I'm gonna bug, bro.
Yeah, but it's taught me a lot, man. Everything from the first reach out. Like I looked for a barbershop. So when Basio was on here, which was last May, right?
That's a while back. Yeah.
I had started looking for a shop like 5 months before that, Wow. And I thought as soon as I was looking for a shop, like I was gonna find it. But just like houses, man, these spaces are really expensive, especially for the size and the location that I wanted. So it was a process, man. Just a lot of patience. And then I stumbled across the right one, and everything from the reach out to the back and forth with lease negotiations to now just waiting on contractors doing what they say they're going to do in a timely manner. I'm
Oof.
still learning patience, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, man, I've really learned a lot, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
You're gonna crush it, bro.
How many chairs you gonna have?
10.
10. Good
10,
spot.
yup.
How much square foot?
It's 1,260 square feet. So it was actually previously Great Clips, which really
Okay.
helps out. So the work is minimal. It's just the city that I'm in requires a lot.
Where are you at again? I know you said Ohio.
I'm in a little outside of Cleveland. The barbershop's gonna be it's called North Olmsted, Ohio. So it's like 20 minutes.
How close is that to Patrick? Pat
Loyal.
Also,
yeah, Pat Loyal.
Patrick
Yeah.
Loyal is like 10 minutes down the road, bro. Not even.
Really?
Yeah. So Pat really had the city on lock. I mean, for a long
Yeah.
time.
He
You
put
know,
that school out there. I was out there when he was still
So I'm
building it out.
about
I
to-
went
I'm about to
through
class
there.
there on Sunday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, West
Yeah.
Park.
That's the man.
Yeah,
West Park.
Pat is.
How many he
Pat-
got now? He had like 7 or 8 at one point, right? The West
Oh
Parks.
no, he has three, I
Three?
think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the
He had
barber
he
school.
had a lot for a minute though.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
the
he
one
had,
right
like-
there by the barber school. I was out there back in November and
Yeah.
met Pat for the first time and went to that I don't know, that downtown West something.
West Park area. Yeah, it's Cleveland.
It was I'm talking about it was some downtown spot, some food spot that was upstairs.
Mm,
Like the best spot in y'all city, man. It was I ain't gonna lie, that food was good too.
it was
I'm out
okay.
to
So
Ohio.
I'm not from Cleveland like that. I'm from
Oh, okay. It was somewhere out there. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo,
Be a lot of Cleveland, bro.
Yeah,
LeBron
but
left.
shout
I
out
ain't going
Pat,
back.
but Pat's gonna be down the street, man.
Nah.
okay.
Yeah,
Good
so
stuff, man. Good stuff.
it's all good. It's a lot of people out here, man.
Yeah.
Everybody need haircuts.
Absolutely. There's always going to be more people that need haircuts than there are barbers and barbershops. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And it's everybody is going to want some different experience, right? And like we can all eat, we could all win, and then even when it comes to hiring barbers, like every barber is going to be looking for a different type of environment. You know what I mean? So right. So speaking of that, back when you were looking for a barbershop or went into a barbershop, what are some things that you feel like, knowing what you know now, you would have did different? Because again, we got a lot of beginner barbers tuned in that are gonna
looking for a place to work.
Yeah, looking for a place to work. You know what I'm saying? Like what would you tell them to do when they're graduating school and they're going out in this world? What are some things to look for? What are some of the things to avoid?
Yeah, so I got lucky, man. When I first started cutting hair, I kind of already knew the barbershop owner. That his name is Ralphie. I already knew Ralph, and I knew that when I went to barber school in like sophomore year, I made the decision I was gonna work at his shop because I knew him. He's a good dude. I grew up going to the barbershop, so I knew. So I kind of got lucky, but just from experience of having someone who was good to look up to, find someone who is good to look up to. You want to make sure. You want to learn from people that are in a place that you aspire to be, so you make sure that the barbershop owner is someone you see yourself looking like business wise, how you cut hair, all that type of stuff. And then location. I think it's all about putting yourself in position, right, to be as successful as you possibly can in every aspect of life. But specifically when you're starting, you don't have a lot of clients, so you want to make sure that you're in a barbershop that's in a busy location that has a lot of walk-in traffic. So you want to be strategic. You don't want to go somewhere just because you feel loyal to a person. You want to go to a barbershop as well that just gives you the best possible outcome for success.
So for you knew the guy, right? So you went to basically the first shop that gave you an opportunity, right?
Yeah. I knew
that was the shop. That was the shop he grew up going to, though, right?
Yeah. It's called the Spot Barbershop, right? In Lorraine,
that is, which I think is so dope in your scenario. But I also think it's one of the mistakes that so many of us make, bro, is we just go to the first shop that we know or the first shop that gives us an opportunity, right? So I think one of the things that I would have done different, knowing what I know now, and what I always recommend barbers do is like, maybe look around first, maybe try to like feel something out first, because in so many instances, man, we all do it, bro. We get an opportunity. It seems right for us. And a lot of times it works. A lot of times it doesn't. Right. But I just think a more strategic move is to like weigh our options first instead of getting so excited, fresh out of barber school, fresh with our license, like, oh, we got an opportunity.
That's why I said I got lucky. I got lucky because the standard wasn't really high where I was from. Ralphie had owned a location before that closed down. I knew he was about to open the second one. So he was a dude that liked to grow. He ran his business well, you know, but there's a lot of barbershops that I could have joined in that same city that I'm from. That would have been a horrible decision.
Yeah.
You know?
So what I take from that, right? And you guys are both saying the same thing in these three core areas. And this is what I've always said, you know, to all the young barbers I talk to is, Dre, you said the leader, right? Because you had a guy that you said he ran his business well. You respected him. You kind of looked up to him, right? So the leader matters. You also said location, location, location. Location matters, right? Is it convenient to where you live, where you from? Barbers, a lot of times, sometimes they want to join me, right? And I'm like, where do you live? It's 45 minutes away, bro. It's going to take you an hour to get to work. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
And I tell them that because the reason why is because when you're out and about, a barber is the fabric of the community, right? So I don't recommend barbers drive more than 30 minutes to any location, because when you're out going to the grocery store, you're at your local gym that's close by your house, you need to be able to transport those meats to your chair, right? You meet a couple guys at the gym. If you live in the same community as the shop and as the gym, that's an easy link. But smart, if you live 45 minutes away and you go to that gym, you try and tell somebody, I cut hair way downtown. They're like, oh, bro, I ain't getting in that traffic, right? I always tell people location matters, right? Because location has to be good, but it has to be convenient for you. So the leader, the location, and then new leads. Do they have walk-in flow, lead generation? Because you need opportunities to not only make money, but to build your skill set, right? So leader, location, and new leads. And that's what you said in so many words. I just simplified it in that because we've been in the game a long time. And it's the same principles of success. Everybody says it a different way, but it comes back down to the same exact thing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, bro. And when it comes to being in a barbershop that has that walk-in flow and that traffic is super helpful to be in a busy shop, especially when you're just not that skilled at marketing, or you just don't really have the confidence to even promote yourself. You know, you can leverage the name of the shop, the reputation of the shop, right? And then that can help accelerate, you know, everything when it comes to just helping you build as a barber, right?
Even if it's busy in there, you can watch the other barbers, because if it's busy in there, that means it's a couple good guys in there,
right?
So now you got, you know what I'm saying, live tutorials and training right in front of your face, even when you're not cutting.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about being in the right ship.
Yeah, and I agree. And my question that I was moving towards was, you know, you also have to do what you got to do, right? You also have to promote yourself, market yourself, get involved in the community, post the content and all of that. Like, you can't just solely rely on the shop to do everything for you, right? If you want to grow the fastest. And, you know, obviously you were doing some of that, right? I was doing it. Will was. And then when you get the people in the shop, whether they're walk-ins from the shop, driving into traffic, sitting in your chair, or you're getting them on your own, now they're in your chair, you got to figure out a way to separate yourself as a barber, and, you know, like, figure out what you're going to do to lock this person in, to turn them into a reoccurring person. So what were some of the things that you did early on, if you can recall, that in your mind, you're like, all right, this is going to separate me. This is going to make me different. This is going to help me lock these people in.
Man, give them the same exact haircut, if not better, every single time.
Yeah, consistent.
Honestly, to this day, I don't think the standard is high, man. I don't think it's hard to lock in a client, especially a lot of clients, man. Once they get comfortable, they don't want to leave.
Facts.
Right.
You know, so talk to them, give them the same haircut every single time, and then when they're about to leave, book their next appointment for them. This is super practical stuff.
Yeah,
it's not like mind blowing, you know.
Yeah,
because a lot of times what clients will do is they'll get a haircut and you know, be like, hey bro, see you next time. You know, but if they forget to book and it's not convenient to get in with you, they're gonna go to somebody else.
Yeah,
so, hey bro, you want the same appointment in a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I lock them in.
And you can even tell them you're busy, especially if you know you're good. Even if you ain't busy. If I went to a new city right now, I'm like, look, man, my schedule is normally booked up. Would you like to lock in your spot now?
Facts.
I might be bluffing.
Yeah.
But if you say it with posture, because your belief in your skill set, They're gonna be like, "Oh, you do that?"
Yeah.
A closed mouth don't get fed.
It's true.
No, and you're 100%
ask you
right.
while they're in the chair. They'll be like, "What's your busiest day?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm
Every
honest,
day.
bro. I'm busy every day, dog.
Yeah.
I be swamped in this joint, bro."
Yeah.
And I know you
People
don't like
want
to
a
pay.
busy barber.
You're a busy guy. I know you don't got time to wait. So listen, I can give you this same exact spot. No, nobody got that yet. They got all the other ones, but this one is for you. What you gonna do?
Recurring
And they
appointment.
taking it, bro. they taking it, bro.
And then at some point, it's not a lie no more. Like you really are, because you did that. You know,
right?
You just
Yeah,
always want to communicate
recurring-
you're busy, bro. I even tell that's one of the things when I'm like, trying to help people understand how to promote yourself in person. You always want to communicate you're a busy barber, because if you're a busy barber, you clearly got to be good, right? Because nobody would want to go. How can a barber be not good at cutting hair and busy? Which we as barbers know that exists all over, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't got to be that great at cutting hair, but to the average person, when they hear you're a busy barber, subconsciously they gotta think he must be all right. So I always tell people, when you're promoting yourself, like one of the ways I always have liked to do it over the course of my career is I just start a conversation, let's say with a cashier when I'm buying this water, and I go, "How are you doing? How's your day?" "Good. How's yours?" I always say, "I'm tired, long day cutting in the barber shop," right? "I'm tired, long day cutting in the barbershop." That's communicating. I'm probably tired because I did a lot of haircuts. I had a long day in the barbershop. Okay, maybe this is a good barber, and it could lead to them just inquiring, more about, okay, where do you cut and all of that fun stuff. So, like Will said, bro, it's you want to let them know that you're busy, right? Whether it's the person you're trying to lock in or the person you're promoting to, you want them to understand you're busy. And I love the fact that you said even early on you were doing the reoccurring stuff, because that's something I feel like we don't do enough as barbers.
It's like guaranteed money.
Yeah, bro, they do it in the salon, but barbers, we don't be doing it. And like you said, you were locking them in, right?
Yeah, locking them in.
And some people don't like to cancel. People don't like to cancel. After they gave you their word, they gave you their word because they felt good in the moment.
Yeah.
And they're not going to cancel.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times that reminder that comes through 2 days prior, they're like, "Oh, man, I do got to get a haircut. I already got an appointment."
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you, if you ask clients for real, they have anxiety about getting on a good barber schedule. My clients used to tell me, "There's like, Stan, bro, I don't like the way I feel trying to get an appointment with you." I'm like, "Yo, what are you talking about, bro? I'm about to say something crazy." He's like, "No, dog, I be stressed out like on the app trying to like hurry up and book it. It'd be one spot, and I be about to crash my car trying to make sure I'm putting my card on file." And I'm just laughing, and I'm like, "Bro, you can get a recurring spot." They're like, "For real?" And then they come every single week. It's game over. It's like we don't ask because we think, "Man, I'm just nice like that, man. He definitely coming back." That's goofy barber talk.
Nah, man. I mean everybody wants convenience.
They do.
So
take the problems off my hand.
Yeah,
people,
and it's also the out of minor.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Are we saying you got it? You good? What were you
I
saying?
said people pay to get their stress relieved. We pay for fast food because we don't got to worry about cooking.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, for me, because I agree with you, Will. It's so much of that. Like, I'm nice, they gonna come back. That's I think most of it. But then you have a lot of the barbers even probably tuned in right now. The beginners that are hungry, they might have never thought of that, because I feel like I was that barber. I didn't even nobody that I was around was doing that, and I never was told that. And then I think it was like Ivan Zoot or somebody. It all starts to mesh together over time, but. They were like, "Yo, just rebook on the spot," and I'm like, "Yo,
it's them corporate structure businesses. They coach that."
Yeah,
like I tell people, you want real business game? Go to one of them super cuts or something, right? And watch their training or how they do business. Yeah. See, we try and be the best barber. We barber battle guys.
Yeah,
them jokers run circles around us in business.
Yeah,
but we look at the way we cut like we're better than them.
Yeah, they laugh at them.
They laughed at us at the bank. They do. It's somebody sitting over there like, "Oh, this doesn't get it. Nice haircut though." You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true.
And maturing as a barber is understanding they run our game. The Paul Mitchells, the super cuts, the sport clips,
best cuts, all of it.
They run.
Bro, I'm looking for spaces for my barbershop, and I can't get in any plaza.
Because they always there.
They're all there with non-compete leases. And I'm like, bro, they got this game unlocked, bro.
And I learned how they do that, right? I learned how they do that. They go and they build relationships with the land developers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started studying commercial real estate stuff, right? And in order to buy a commercial center like a strip mall, you have to have 90% occupancy LOIs before the bank will fund it. So you were talking about LOIs, that's letter of intent, right? So I would need to open up a strip mall and have Dre Clipperhand's letter of intent to open up a shop, Marv's letter of intent to open up some suites. You know what I mean? Barber Three's, he opening up a facial studio, right? I need letter of intents for everybody. If there's 3 spots, I need all 3 filled. And then the bank will loan me the money based on the projected rent revenue off of those letter of intents. And what Supercuts and them do is they have relationships because they go to the Chamber of Commerce and they build relationships with the city developers and people part of the city and all that. And they give them money for their campaigns and all that. And then they go and they say, hey, man, you open up, we developing this land over here. Cool. We want a 10-year lease. And they get locked in on the ground level. Yep. That's why as soon as something pops up, they're already there. We can't even get it.
Yeah.
We over here riding around looking for lease signs in the window. Like, they run circles around us, bro. And I'm just like, and we over here, I'm a 20-time champion. Like, bro, stop it, bro.
Yeah. My fades are so blurry, man. When
relationships
the longer
matter,
I do this,
bro.
The more I realize, bro, the haircuts don't matter that much.
Relationships matter.
It's like say that for the people 25 and under, man. Please.
You start at that level. Relationships matter. At our level as a barber beginner working to build clientele, relationships matter. That's what's so valuable. You know what I mean? Bro. Building relationships. What were some of the things you focused on early on when it came to building relationships in the shop? What were ways that you tried to connect with people, right? Because a lot of the people tuned in, again, inner barbers, and they're trying to figure out, like, how can I connect with people? Everybody says build relationships.
Man, it's hard, man, because I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
And I've learned not to be just through what we do and then making content, right? But like in a big room, especially in the barbershop early on, I was doing in the corner. I didn't talk for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
You know, that was a big reason I went into the law. If I had not really anxious, but like I just didn't talk much, you know?
Yeah.
But what I did focus on is I would just try to focus on the person in my chair. You know, I would talk about my story, you know, at the time I was a newer believer, man. So I was on fire. I was telling everybody about Jesus, which that should never stop. But when you start something new, that's all you want to talk about. So that was a big part of it. And then just finding common ground, bro. People just want to talk, you know.
Yeah.
They want to talk. They want to have good conversation. A lot of times, you just got to show that you're a good dude, you know.
Yeah, just be a good human,
dude, bro.
That's literally
people want to feel connected, man. People want to feel connected, bro.
People want to smile.
Like, yeah, bro.
Like, I posted a video about how I'm very excited to open my barbershop. But like I got clients that I think I'm more excited than me because they've been with me since the basement.
Oh, bro.
You know, they feel connected to what I do, to my business, because they are my business. I wouldn't be here without them, essentially.
I got people, I don't even cut their hair no more, man. They call me, hey man, how's the school, bro? I got your post notifications like on my phone. Like,
that's beautiful.
I love what I'm seeing. Like, bro. It was so funny. I got a student signed up, right? He's in the Junior Olympics. He's out in Texas right now, but he signed up. He's going to join our school August 1st. And his mom's police, right? She's DeKalb County, right? She came to school in the police. I'm like, come on now. I don't live that life, man. Please don't come up in here with suited up, acting like you looking for Will Stan. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Right? She started laughing. She said, no. She said, I done my research on you. I said, come on, man. That can't be the first thing you say out your mouth to me. Right? So she's like, now my son wants to come to your school. She was like, my sister, you know, she researched. She said, I think I got somebody I want you to meet. And then she's like, my son, you know, he found you on TikTok and we researched you. And then I go to work and, you know, one of my, I'm a sergeant, and one of my, you know, cops that are underneath me that has to report to me. He was like, nah, wait, I want you to talk to my barber, you know, and, you know, he'll teach you business. And she's like, come to find out. She was like, all 3 of us talking about you. And I said, hold on now. I said, I'm deep in these streets now. You better watch out. And she said, no, you're a little too deep for me. She said, but, you know, so we laughed it off. But she was like, no, my son's coming here. He's going to the Junior Olympics in Texas. And when he gets back, we're going to join your school, man. He's super excited to be here. He's 18 years old. But it was like, and what you talk about, right? Being a good person,
Mm-hmm.
that carries you so far.
Mhm.
All three of them people I haven't talked to in years. One of my guys named Jeremy Wilson, he police, right? And I was like, I used to cut his hair early in the morning. When I opened up the school, I couldn't cut his hair no more.
Mhm.
But he's still talking about me like he's like I'm his barber, and I haven't cut his hair in like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
But when you build those connections and those relationships with people, and they can trust you, they trust your brand, trust what you built. That name, that weight, it just carry, man. And
True. I've seen
I think,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I think all of those years that I built, I think are the reason why the school is doing so well now.
For sure.
Jay
So-
Majors had put up a post a few months ago about how you know, a lot of people talk about how they're self-made, they did it all themselves. But he was like, nah, it's every single person that sat in my chair for the past 10 years
Mm.
that has made this.
Yep.
You know?
All my friends are better than me. All of them.
Facts.
All
A
of
big
them.
thing that I would tell young barbers, because you said all your friends are better than you,
Yeah.
is, man, I heard a quote that stuck with me ever since I heard it, man. And it's your level of exposure will dictate your level of success.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like me, if I would have never been exposed to what barbering can do for my life through social media, I would have thought barbering was just the everyday barber in my community.
Yeah.
But like, because I was exposed to what barbering could really be, I knew what it was, you know. So putting yourself in environments that like blow your mind or elevate your level of thinking is what it's all about, because then it raises the ceiling, you know.
Yep.
So your
I
level.
said it. I think I said it last time we were on Gym Talks, where if millionaires gather, if invited, you go. You don't worry about the cost, because the level of exposure.
Yep.
Right. It's very rare that you get to be in a room full of millionaires, and it doesn't rub off on you. That's why I tell people, man, like a lot of my friends, man, we've all grown with each other, and it's just like when we're around each other, bro, it's like a synergy. There's no stress. We ain't talking about nobody. All we talking is ideas and how the kids doing. Grown man, that's all we talking about. Hey man, how the kids, man? Are they in this, that? And I mean, we could be golfing, doing whatever, just the gym. It don't matter. It's just when you're around high level people, man, so much gets done so quick. I tell my students, right? They 20 years old. I see they TikToks and stuff. I pull them to the side. I'm like, look, man, you really trying to get to it or what? They're like, yeah. I said, them friends ain't really your friends, man. I'm telling you now, they not going to be with you in a couple years. You're going to outgrow them. And if you hold on to them, they're going to bring you down. And they be looking at me like I just told them, like, bro, you got to sell your dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, nah, but I'm just trying to prep you. Like when you start, you in school now, you get licensed, you start getting money, they going to see you change. And they going to start trying you and putting you in BS environments. And you're going to have to be okay with getting removal of that. So I'll be planting that seed early, man. It's hard to grow because so many people don't want you to go.
And have you experienced that a lot, Dre? Like the people that maybe you talked with a lot when you first started getting heavily involved into the barbering and working to grow and build. Do you feel like there's a lot of distance from those people, or do you feel like some of them have still stuck around? Because for me, like a lot of the people I talk to on a day-to-day basis are in Ohio, in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and all over the world. And I still have my people in my real life, but that circle just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, especially as you, like you say, you get more exposure. So have you experienced that too?
So like I said, I was quiet, man. So like I had a lot of people that I talked to in high school, but like I knew it was never gonna go past that point.
Yeah.
But like my solid 1 or 2 friends, 3 friends, they're really solid, you know, like it was never about what I was doing. You know, we just really liked hanging with each other, playing basketball, talking. You know, we were all believers. So that is that. But like, yeah, honestly, man, I really have been blessed with good people in my corner. Everybody from my family to my wife, you know what I'm saying? But there are people that I hear from a distance because I really do distance myself. Like when I work, I really work.
Yeah.
I don't hang out with people much.
Yeah.
So I don't hear all that.
Let me ask you this, Dre. You're 1 or 2 that are real tight with you. Are they growing? Are they growing?
I don't know if they're watching, man. So yeah, I mean,
Bro, you better
Not like
put
I
your
would.
foot on the pedal, bro, and start growing. You know what I'm saying? I
You know
love
what I
you,
mean?
man.
Like, bro, like,
boy.
because here's why I say
not
that, right? Here's why I
uh-huh.
say that, right? Because if they're growing with you, that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if they're
Yeah.
not, I realize, you know what I mean, you're only 25.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Them relationships still fresh.
Yeah. So I guess the difference is
35 is gonna be a different story.
yeah.
But it
they
can
ain't
be
growing.
also that same thing where people are just in different boxes, right? It's
Yeah.
like there's that growth box, you know what I'm saying? And then there's that box where
That's
we just
what
want
I
to go
think a
play
lot
some
of
hoop and
people when
kick
they
it.
get to certain levels of success, like they feel like they need to cut people off.
Mhm.
But like these aren't people that like they're not holding me back because I don't
Right.
put them at the level to where they can, you know, like I'll
Mhm.
text them, I say, what's up? We might hang
Mhm.
out once a month, but this is
Mhm.
not like my homie, you know, it's not like I don't hang out with them as much as I hang out with my wife. That's
Yeah.
my dog,
Okay.
you
That's
know?
a
Yeah,
fact.
okay.
That's all
So
of
like
us.
Okay.
I'm
I
not big
mean,
on cutting
that's
people
fair.
off.
I
Like
just,
that.
I always tell you, like,
Yeah.
because that's a universal law, man. The 5
Yeah,
closest
yeah.
people to you, you're a result of them.
Facts.
So, like, I know the 5 closest people to me, and all of them is top
Yeah.
tier. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I got guys that I'm still cool with, that I grew up with, that I love them to death.
Yeah.
But the conversations is just different.
They're different. It's nostalgic.
It's just
It's
different.
nostalgic, right?
And I love them dudes, man. They can call me and ask me for anything.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be able to hang out every day because the mindset is just so different.
Yeah, so that's why I invested in things like mentorships, and I'm blessed to be able to do stuff like this because there's not people that,
Right.
at least my age, that want to grow like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have
you're
You gotta be
definitely
poured
like
into.
wiser for your age. Like you're you're an older soul. You know what I'm saying? Many 25-year-olds talking about I'd be chilling with my wife. That's my homie. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
Nah, you know, especially doing what you're doing too. You're building
Yeah.
up a little, barber celebrity, and you start getting a little name
barber.
for yourself. You know how it
Yeah.
is going, and some people let it get to their head, and you're doing your best to stay, solid.
I'm glad to hear though you got a lot of supportive people though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not always like
Yeah,
that.
so like-
I mean, especially for young, successful entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
it's not always like that. So I'm glad to hear that for you. I love that for you.
Yeah, like for me, I grew up without my father, so I never really felt that void until I got older and I hit certain milestones in life, and I just realized like this is that one person that wasn't there. But what I would say is there was a lot of people that filled those voids, everybody from my cousin's dad, my uncle, to my youth pastor. His name is Pastor Max. That dude was a really big father figure. And then bro, honestly, believe it or not, a lot of people on YouTube, they will never know, but they played very important roles in my life just because of the things that I learned from them to this day.
Yeah.
I'll be driving.
Thank God for the internet.
And listening to people and that's stuff.
Those are your homies.
Those are my homies. It sounds weird, but it really is like.
Yeah.
Marv is my homie. You know what I'm saying? Me and Marv hung out like 4 times. I'm 38.
Yeah, fact, bro. And then it's like people, like you said, people who drive around. Alex Hermosi be my homie,
bro. Alex, Gary,
E.T.
bro.
But
add Maxwell to the list. Add Maxwell to the list for sure.
Facts. What's cool though is like because you're getting to experience this too. The more you travel and go to events and meet people and stuff, that's who you are to so many of these up and coming barbers. And I know it blows your mind, right? You want to talk about that a little bit because that shit it still blows my mind to this day. It makes me like get teary eyed when I experience some of that.
Yeah, so I was anxious before I got on here. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like, bro, what?
Yeah,
I really have to say that like people want to hear, because I feel like I don't know. I don't feel special,
Yeah.
So to think that people look at me the way I look at like a Basio or a Mosey or Gary
think that their heart pounds and they don't know how to say hi to you
like
when they see you at an event.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't experience that until CT last year.
Yeah.
Not this year, last year. And it was mind blowing, honestly. It gives you perspective, and if anything, it didn't bump my head up. It humbled me because I feel like I had a sense of responsibility now. Because like when I graduated, I was part of the youth program at my church for a while with like middle schoolers and stuff, and it was a lot easier for me to live the way that I'm supposed to live when there was something for me to be accountable to,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
was the kids in my small group, you know. So
Mhm.
now that I have a platform, I feel a sense of responsibility to that same way, you know, to treat it and steward it well. You know, the Bible
Mhm.
talks about stewarding what you have now well. So that way, you know, when you get to the other thing, it's just a continuation.
Yep.
You know, you can't ask for something bigger when you can't handle what you got going on right now, you know?
Yep. That's how I tell people all the time. That's how you attract opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Margin. And you can only create margin by being a good steward.
Mm-hmm.
Most people say, "Oh, I can't do that. I don't have time," because you ain't got no margin. You're not a good
Mm-hmm.
steward of your time. Oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't have the money. Well, you're not a good steward with the resources you've already gotten. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you don't have margin. So you can only attract and take advantage of opportunities if you build margin in your life. And margin comes from discipline, diligence, action, like all that stuff, man, is how margin is built. And margin opportunities cross our paths every single day. You
Mm-hmm.
can't identify them and you can't take advantage of them because you can't even see them because you ain't got no margin. You're up against it financially, time wise, physically, like spiritually. Like you're so like tapped to the max because you just
Mm-hmm.
haven't been a good steward with your natural resources.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yep.
Barbers. That's a fact. Yo, Dre, you got your academy, bro.
Oh
And
man,
I
yeah.
want to talk about that a little because you just recently dropped that. And obviously, we've been talking a lot about relationships and how important that is, and surrounding yourself with the right people, how important that is, and having margin in your life, how important that is. And we've been discussing all of this stuff. But at the same time, we are barbers, right? So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we do gotta learn how to
I
cut
get
hair.
stuck on the personal development tip a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do gotta cut hair. So you
Yeah.
created the academy. You want to talk a little bit about that? What led to that? How's it going? And
Yeah, so
some
the
insight.
academy it's been a blessing. That just going into like the content creation and being able to capitalize off what you've built. So for the last I had my channel when I graduated barber school, so about to be 5 years. I've just been putting out free stuff over and over and over and over, you know, to where like I built a following and I'm getting money from AdSense. Right? And this sounds bad. I didn't create the academy for money or the course for money. But you build something in order to be able to benefit from it, right? So when
Mhm.
I started to learn about different ways to use your platform to create other sources of income, a big one was an online course, an online academy. You know, and the thing is, so when I heard that and I saw the money that could be made, I was like, I want to do this. So I started it last year before CT actually, and I just lost the reason why, so I stopped it. All the videos I recorded for the academy, I just put on YouTube. But this past year, you know, when I really did see the influence that I had on people and people that really do learn from me, I wanted to be able to provide a space where I could solely focus on them as well. You
Mhm.
know, because since when you put stuff out for free, people don't have the sense of urgency to really apply what they've learned, like you were saying, Will.
Mhm.
But you can put the same exact thing into an online curriculum, and because it's organized, it's in one place. Those people who paid for it are more willing to learn from it and apply it, which is what I want, right? When you see, like you said, when people benefit from Marv's social media course and they get
Mhm.
results, like it puts a fire in you.
It
So I
does.
think learning from my online academy, it puts a
Mhm.
fire under me as well, you know. So
Yep.
honestly, it's been a blessing. You know, I've
Mhm.
had a lot of students enroll. Um, and yeah, man, it's been amazing, bro. It's been amazing.
So
Yeah.
it allows you to like focus more because I guess the
Yeah.
on the individuals, because I guess the one thing that people might think is, you know, what's the difference between your tutorial stuff on YouTube and the difference between your online academy?
Mhm.
And you would say it allows you to really work closer with people and
Yeah.
do it in a
So
way that's just more in depth
so like
from
we
your perspective, right?
So like we were saying, the circle and the people you surround yourself with, you talk to, is really important. So like now you're thrown into a community of people who invested in this course
That's a
that all
fact.
want to get better. And not only do you have access to me like easier, you have access to these other people that you can learn from,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then as well, what makes my course different is the way it's recorded is different. I have a videographer film me. It's as if you're there with me in person and I'm talking you through it. You
Mhm.
know, it's a little more in depth because with YouTube, it also has to be slightly entertaining. So there's certain things I'm just not going to talk about because the numbers aren't going to do well, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just put that in an online course, more in depth, more educational, and yeah. So I just
you're
know, I
right.
know the blessing that the mentorships that I was a part of have been to my life. So if I'm able to create that space for somebody else, I want to do that, you know.
Yeah, and you're right with the idea of investing into yourself. It just adds that extra layer of wanting you to actually implement what you learn. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that like kind of discouraged me a little bit when it comes to like even Gem Talk, right? Because it's free, right? If
Yeah.
people paid to listen to this, they'd be taking notes, you know,
Yeah.
they'd be screen recording it, trying their best
Yeah.
to implement it. But because it's free, it's almost like, you
It's not as
know,
valuable, they
yeah,
feel.
right.
Yeah.
So, and
Mhm.
you know, I get also why people might be scared to invest money that have never invested money into themselves, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't want to feel like you're wasting your money or you're getting scammed and all of this stuff. And, you know, I've had my course now for 4 or 5 years or whatever. So, you know, I've been through it too. But like I always tell people, man, like if you have the fear of like wasting money, the best thing you could do is invest into a course or a mentorship or
Mhm.
something like that, because you're not going to want to feel like you wasted your money. So if you're
Mhm.
scared to sign up for, let's say, Dre Clipper Hands Academy, because I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my money, well, that's the reason why you need to sign up. Because
Mhm.
once you sign up, you're going to pay attention. You're going to watch the videos. You're going to be more inclined to actually implement what you learned, just because you don't want to feel like you wasted
Yeah.
your money. You know,
Fact.
so
Yeah.
it's like you're investing into yourself. It's like, sure, you're investing into Dre Clipper Hands and what he's doing, but if you're getting value from him for free for years, why wouldn't you want to invest to
You
help
know,
him provide a better platform for you? And then
Mhm.
aside from
Mhm.
that, you're investing into you because you're
Mhm.
going to learn how to cut hair better and new techniques and new clientele building tips. And you're going to learn a lot. So
And
it's
if
an
you don't like
investment in
it,
yourself.
you just learn what you don't want to do. If you don't like
Exactly.
it,
yeah,
realistically, you
yeah.
know.
And
Exactly.
here's the crazy thing, right? And this is the mindset I be trying to teach the young folks is like when you're young and you're scared to invest, you know, this most successful people, they're trying to find ways to pay people who are better than them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
When you're at the bottom, we're so scared
we are,
to
bro.
invest in people that are clearly better than us at
Yep.
whatever it is. If it's content creation, camera usage, barbering, business,
Mhm.
where people are clearly ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Clearly. And you have this scarcity mindset, like I'm scared to invest because I don't want to get played. Well,
Mhm.
staying where you are is playing yourself.
Facts,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then once you get up a little bit and you get a little bit of taste of success, you're like, yo, how can I outsource this? How can I pay somebody that's better at
Yeah.
marketing than me? How can I pay somebody who's better at cutting that type of hair than me? How can I pay somebody to, you know what I mean, run these ads better than me? How can I, bro? I'm always
Yeah.
looking for somebody who's better than me that I can pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can shorten the time that it takes to get you from point A to point B, like
And
why
all it
wouldn't you
takes is
do
some
that?
money. And all it
And all
takes is
it
some
takes is a couple $100 or whatever that thing is.
man, what?
Like, why wouldn't you do that? Because it's gonna cost you more to learn to get from point A to point B on your own than it is to invest in something that could shortcut that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
And even if it flops, right? Because
Mhm.
you are going to buy some courses and they're going to flop.
Yeah.
All it is one night. You wake up tomorrow, you try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people who invest money got all the money.
Yeah.
People who don't got none.
Mhm.
I don't know any other way to put it,
Yeah.
man.
I always tell people too, like, you know, at the end of the day, you're usually going to get scammed or going to waste money when you invest into something just off the whim because you got sold on some BS, right? Where
Mhm.
it's like, bro, you've been following Dre Clipper Hands for years. You've been following Marvy Mar for years, and they are doing a class or a course or something. I just don't understand why you wouldn't
If
invest.
my free stuff is good and you like it, why
Yeah.
would I try to scam you on the
Marv
stuff
always
that's good?
says that. Marv's like, yo, if
Yeah.
you earn something for free,
Yeah.
even if you paid and it wasn't good, you just paid for the stuff you got for free. So
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. It's like with Basio, you know, you learned a lot from him for years for free, and then he did the 6-figure barber mentorship. You're like, all right, bet.
Yeah,
You know?
like for example, when I seen that mentorship for almost a year before I bought it, and I asked Basio a question, and out of his love for me, he sent me a specific video from the course to help me with my barbershop stuff. And him sending me that specific video made me buy the entire
Yeah.
thing. You know?
Yeah.
Right. Because giving starts the receiving process.
Dude,
And
100%.
Dre,
Bro.
and Dre, what you did was you put out the stuff on YouTube for free.
Mhm.
That's giving, and it started the receiving process. Now people are paying you for what you do for free. I tell people all the time, they're like, Stan, how I build clientele? Go cut hair for free. Then all of a sudden they pay you for it. What's that? I want to open up a school. Go teach for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up getting paid for it. Well, I want to open up a school. Well, go put up your chips and do it for free. Go to a couple shows and teach on stage and get over stage fright and learn how to become a better speaker and this and this and that for free. Free is for me. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
Free ain't for the people who get in the service. Free is for you so you can learn.
100%.
And when you learn,
that's like a number one thing when building clients, man. I gave something away. Forget for free. I literally lost.
Gave a phone.
I gave a phone away.
I call it the blue magic method is what I call it. Right.
Yeah.
I tell people, you ever watch American Gangster? Denzel risked his whole life to go over and get the purest dope. And he came back and he put it in little blue bags and he gave it away. And before you know it, he had everybody addicted to it. Yeah. But it's the same concept. You got to put your dope in the street. Right? Barbers always calling themselves dope. Put your dope in the street for free.
Yeah.
If it's really that fire, they gonna come get it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got some work to do.
That's why it just blows my mind if you bring up the cut for free thing and you'll have, a 10-year barber say, nah, you can't do that. It's like, bro, you're 10 years. You're 10 years in. All right. If you don't got cut for free no more, I get it, bro. I'm talking to a beginner barber. But it never makes sense because it's like, okay, if you believe in what you do, right, and you're charging, let's say, $30 a cut, whatever you're charging, and you give one away for free, and you're locking these people in, why wouldn't you trade that one-time free $30 for a potential weekly $120 a month, $60 a month? Why wouldn't you? And bare minimum, you get experience, right? Because like Will said, free is for me. You're learning. And then on top of that, in today's day and age, you can get content from it. So even if they never book with you, they never come back, you give them a free haircut, they use you for the free haircut, you got content that you can upload on all these different social media platforms to drive in people. And the content often is more valuable than the actual payment that you receive from the person, because now it's like, maybe they paid me $30. They never came back, but I got content. I'm driving in new customers. I'm making $30-$40 a new customer. They're coming to me every few weeks, over the course of the year. I'm making thousands off of this content piece. That
if you really want to set it on fire, you give somebody a free cut and you tell them, yo, whoever your best friend is, tell them I'll cut his hair for free too. So now you got a marketer on the street trying to give away a free cut.
Bro, check this out. I had this kid that I've been, he's a man now. He got kids and stuff, but I started cutting him when he was young and in school, and he wanted to stay fresh, right? This is back 13 years ago. And I told him, any person he referred, I give him free haircuts, and then I'd give them a free haircut, right? Bro, I told everybody this, but you know how it goes. Most people don't do it. He did it. So he was sending me all of these people getting all these free haircuts. I'm giving all these free haircuts. To this day, I still cut a handful of them. But now in today's day and age, he's getting to the bag like that, right? So he's paying me $150, $200 a cut, and he's referring people to me at that same price point. So it started out where I was cutting him for free, and the people he's referring to me for free. Now I'm cutting him. He's paying me $200 a cut. Send him, yo, my boy needs a cut. He'll pay $200. Send him. I'm gonna give him your contact, and it's like that's how it's working now. So it's
you give up.
People don't want to give things for free. They just don't. Bro. You're not thinking. They're not understanding how to think that one through.
Yeah, you give up.
It takes an abundant mindset.
You give up what's good for what's great. You know, you sacrifice now to win big later. You know.
Yeah. And when I tell people, it's like sacrificing a haircut, bro. You act like we asked you to cut off your left arm or your.
You wasn't about to cut nobody's hair anyway. You're gonna be.
You was about to sit on your hands. You was about to sit on them hands for 5 hours talking about it slow.
Yeah.
Joker, if you don't get some exercise, bro.
Never understood how you think it's better to sit there and do nothing for 4 hours than to give 2 or 3 free haircuts. It's like the person that says if they're not working, you're like, yo, McDonald's is hiring. I ain't working at McDonald's. Oh, so you'd rather get paid $0 an hour than 15 or 17.
You better take that 15 until you find 25, till you find 30, till you find 50.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I tell my barbers all the time, I said, you can't tell me ever that it's slow. Because my response to that is, how many heads you cut for free today? If you say no, you can't say slow. And they're like, well, how'd I get booked? Cut a head every day for free until you get booked. And then tell me how long it took. I guarantee you it don't take longer than a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a new barber, dog. You're going to sit there on a Wednesday for 2 people.
Yeah.
You told me you was in barber school, man. I love this, man. I'm passionate, man. I'm gonna do anything, man. I'm gonna cut all day. When you in barber school, you looking for the back to school event, man. About to be lit. I want to go serve the community. Only on one day. I be wondering, do people listen to themselves sometimes?
Nah.
Like, do you hear yourself talk, bro?
Nah.
Because like you got all your own answers and you ain't listening. Look,
I heard Alex Hormozy shared on a
back to school in 2 weeks. I got 10 people emailed me. Will, man, can you bring some barber, this and that? And I'm burnt out reading all the invites.
Yeah.
And I was going to do one at my school, and my students think I should. And I said, you know what? I got like 10 emails, man. Just pick one of them. Go to one of their events, and we give you 8 hours for it. Extra credit. It's a barbering event. All you need is a letterhead from them saying you went and a picture, and you'll get credit. Yeah, I could do it at my school, but I'm like, let me just help all these other people in the community. I don't need to put all that together. Y'all go do it. Get the letterhead, bring it back. I'll put it in your file. We'll give you some credit, man.
That's you about to say that's dope. Will, what were you about to say? Alex Hormozy said because he be dropping gems. What was he about to say?
Yeah, so he was talking about how people don't like. Do people listen to themselves talk? And he was on a podcast, and he had said a lot of people. It was called something specific. There was a name for it, but we give. The advice that we give is like the answers that we need, but like since it's hard for us to like, dang, he explained it so good. Anyway,
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, so he said he writes every day. He journals to himself 38 years from now, right? Like giving advice to his
version of him now.
Essentially. Yeah, and that's a big way of him processing how to solve certain problems in the life. Because we do give better solutions to problems to other people than we do for ourselves, right? Because there's no emotion attached to it. That's the problem. We make decisions out of emotion instead of logically thinking it through. You know. So
it's just acting in spite of emotion.
Yeah,
that's why I tell people you got to act your way into greatness, man. It don't faith without works been dead. So it's like, bro, if you don't act your way into it.
Yeah,
you got it. Like I was in like a network marketing like years ago, right? And one of the guys, he was mentoring me on mindset, and this is where like my mindset went through the roof because that type of culture, network marketing ain't for everybody, right? But that type of culture and training is phenomenal, and their mindset is incredible. And he and one of the things he said to me, he was just like, yo, he was just saying he was talking to me about like certain things, and I got countless stories with it, but it goes on just the fact where he's like, yo, man, you can feel the feeling and do the action anyway.
That's it.
He said they're just feelings. You could be scared to call this person right now, right? The phone feels like a bag of bricks. He said, but you can still pick up the phone and dial the number and call it. He said the worst thing they can say is no.
Yeah.
And then he just stopped and he said, yo, just look at yourself. You're scared to pick up the phone. Nobody's here but me and you.
Yeah.
He was like, look at you. You're shook. Ain't nobody doing nothing to you. He was like, man, if you're ever going to win in life, I want you to realize how you feel right now. And if you don't ever get over it, you'll never win. He was like, losing is a habit, but so is winning. The choice is yours. Now pick up the phone. I picked up the phone and I made the phone call. The Joker didn't do what I wanted him to do and come to the meeting anyway. But it was in that moment I realized, I said, yo, I was scared as shit.
No reason.
Pick up the phone. I said, yo, never again. And that night changed my life.
And not to mention the sense of fulfillment that you get once you actually just rip the Band-Aid off, bro. Like, like I said, I'm introverted. So like even stuff like this, I get nervous. I was thinking about this all day.
You were stressing, bro.
10 minutes before this, I'm a little jittery. You know
I gotta
go teach a class on Sunday. I gotta teach a class on Sunday, and like I'm nervous about it right now. You know, like you just gotta do it, and once you do it, bro, a lot of times that nervousness is what really causes you to show out.
Yeah,
it really does.
One of the things that like changed my life was the perspective of once you really understand, like we have all the labels for the emotion, but at the end of the day, one feels good, one feels bad, right? Whatever we're going to call it, you really only have two, right? You either feel good or you feel bad, right? Right? And you narrow it down. So, you know, the perspective that changed everything for me was just really understanding that when you just don't feel good, it's or you're feeling something that you would label as something that don't feel good, it's simply because you're focusing on the things that you don't like or the things that you're scared of. That's it. Whereas if you're feeling good, it's because you're focusing on the things that you are excited about and the things that you do like, right? So for me, it changed my life because I understood that, okay, I could just change the way I feel by just shifting what I'm focusing on. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not feeling good, it's because I'm thinking of all of the bad things. If I want to feel better, start thinking of the good things, because it's impossible for you to not feel good if you're thinking about the things that you're grateful for, that you're thankful for, that you're excited about. Right. So, you know, that was life changing for me, because then it allowed me to change the way I feel in moments, for one. But then, you know, two, it's like you guys been saying, it's you just got to do it anyway, regardless of how you feel. If you only move through life based on how you feel, you're only going to get so far, because how you feel in the moment can vary depending on mad things that are out of your control. Whereas if you just are aware that, okay, it really doesn't matter how I feel, I got to do this gym talk later. Don't matter. If I'm excited, great. If I'm excited, I'm focusing on the things that I like about it. If I'm nervous, I'm focusing on things I'm scared of. It's the same actual sensations in the body, right? It's the same feelings, the jitteriness and all that's the same feelings, but the focus is different, you know. But regardless of how you feel, it's like, just, you gotta do it. And once you get to that awareness, it's a wrap for you guys, man. It's like Will was saying, feel the fear, feel the feeling, and do it anyway. And you'll be amazed. And like Dre was saying, when you come out on the other side of it, that's where that fulfillment is, and that confidence is. Like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And you feel more confident. You feel more likely to just be, you know, brave in that moment moving forward in the future.
Yeah, you strengthen that muscle.
That's a
you know
fact.
what I mean? You strengthen that muscle. It's like, you know, when I opened up my first shop, it cost me like $20,000. I was scared. I was like, man, $20,000 is a lot of money. Then the next one was like $40,000, $50,000. Third one was like $80,000. School was, I mean, more than that. So it's just like you strengthen that muscle, and you're able to stomach the fear, you know what I mean, of going into business, and does it work, does it not? Sometimes it make you too numb, right? To where you make a mistake and you catch an L, you're like, dang. But at the same time, it's like people are like, I wish I had $250,000 to invest and open up that business. Yeah, but you didn't open up the business that cost $5,000.
Yeah, you ain't
You didn't open up the business that cost 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand.
Yeah.
Of course, you would have never even, like, I had some of my clients when I was opening up the school, bro. They was like, bro, there's like, you the man. I'm like, why you say that? They're like, bro, I wouldn't have invested that much money, dog. You got some balls. And I'm like, well, there's like, I couldn't even think. I'm thinking like, damn, how the hell? But I'm like, I'm thinking in my mind, well, I'm me, you. So I hope that worked for you. But it's people, and then it's why you know, I always say, like, when you're growing, it's tough to be around people who aren't. Yeah, because their limiting beliefs they project on you.
Yeah, they could be contagious,
and that's hard to get away from. It's the law of environment. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't want you separate from none of your friends and all that, but if they ain't growing, I guarantee you it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen. So it's tough. No, it never feels good. It never feels good.
It never does. Yeah, no, it's not feeling good right now, bro. No. The shop is gonna be about 70, you know.
Right.
I don't feel good to come out.
It don't, bro. It don't. I tell people, barbershop nowadays costs about
years. We look back at this conversation, and you're gonna be like, "Yo, I did it anyway," and now I feel very fulfilled.
Yeah. Bigger picture.
13 years ago, a shop was like 20 grand, 25 grand. Now it's 75.
That was my deposit.
You want to open up a barbershop now, it's 75 grand for a nice barbershop.
I gotta update the one video I did on YouTube a few years ago. Them numbers done changed.
Hey Marv, I watched that video so many times, like a year and a half ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yo,
that's fire, bro. You learned a little something, right?
You and Sean Cut's series on opening a barbershop.
Bro, I love that he did that. That was fire.
Beautiful, bro.
So valuable.
For free.
That's what I'm saying. So valuable, but people will devalue it because it's free, but You
Yep.
know, it's so informative. But you're gonna crush it, bro. And you know, I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, that's what I want to ask you because we were talking about building the muscle and building the confidence and fulfillment. You know, again, keeping the beginner barbers in mind. What were some of the things that you told yourself, or how did you approach it when somebody might have walked in and you were feeling scared as hell to cut that person, you know, or they sat in your chair and they asked for something that you didn't really think you could do? What was your thought process like to
I
do
never
that?
said no.
Yeah.
Yeah. People will come in for a design unless that thing was like a Rob the original. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm turning it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, man, cliches are cliches for a reason.
Yeah.
Just do it is a cliche because it's true.
Yeah.
You know, so like
It's a
you're gonna be scared
billion-dollar
as heck.
phrase.
You're gonna be scared as heck. You know, you have to, you mess them up, worst case scenario. The hair's gonna
Yeah.
grow back.
Yeah. And usually it's not as bad as we think it is, bro.
Bro,
Like the barber eye is
clients'
different.
expectation of a good haircut,
It's
unless
low.
they're like OD picky,
Yeah.
which is rare, bro, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, 90% of clients don't know a good haircut from a bad one. 90% of them don't.
Nope.
They don't. And then one thing I do try to encourage the guys too, though, if you're not comfortable is one thing, but if you don't know how, if you don't have a clue on how to do a haircut, ask for help.
Yeah.
Or pass it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because barbers are like, oh, my turn. Butcher. You know what I mean? It's like, look, that's self-serving. That's not, yo, I don't turn nothing down. That's self-serving. At the end of the day, you still have to keep the client's best interest.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, it just might not be as better as some of the more experienced barbers. That's cool. But if you don't have a clue on how to do that haircut,
yeah, I had granted, take what I said with a grain of salt. I had a foundational knowledge of
of what to do.
You
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
And you were in a good environment, like you said, right? That's a good shop that you know you grew up in and all of that. And that's why I always tell barbers too, like if you feel like you can't even ask for help and stuff like that in the shop you're in, it might be a red flag, bro. You might need to take a right somewhere and go somewhere else. You know, you should be able to ask for help for sure.
And be okay with it too. You know, and I always tell more experienced barbers too, protect your young people, man. Like I used to hate being in a barbershop and like a new dude, beginner, fresh out of school. The other barbers be over there like, yeah, he can't cut, man. Joke suck, man. He terrible, man. Joke be pushing people back every day. Like when they start talking like that, it's like, yo, bro, like you were once upon a time the fresh barber out of school. Protect your young people, man. They in the shop with you, man. Don't be letting clients bully them or go to OD, like you message. I'm like, yo, you got to protect your people, man. Get them some confidence. Like you would want somebody to do for you. Like people get ahead and then they forget where they came from. And they start acting like they always had it together. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I used to hate barbers like that. Cause it's just like, yo, you bullying people, man. Stop bullying them people, man. Like, help them.
I had a barber try to bully me, man, in my first barbershop. Like I said, I came in there and I really did kind of like shake things up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And there was this one time, granted, the chair space wasn't wide, like they were really narrow, but there was one time we both had our chairs like this, and he goes to like go through the middle and he like kicks my chair while I'm cutting, like with his leg. And I was like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? You know? And I remember he tried to press me on it, but I'm 18. This dude is like 35, you know? And thankfully I didn't have I didn't get fearful and step back. I didn't let him do it. But like they will. People will get jealous. People will get envious. Especially nowadays, barbers come out of school like fire. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna test you. They're gonna test you, especially the because you're gonna have the nasty one in the barbershop. It's just inevitable. But for the barbers just getting in there, bro, keep pushing because they're mad at you for a reason. You know,
they're not mad at you. They're mad at themselves.
They're envious, right?
Yeah, they're just mad at themselves. Like I always tell, be like you were tapping into it a little bit earlier. You know, when you were talking about the Alex Hormozy thing, where it's like, yo, the advice we give to people is advice we need to listen to ourselves. The projections we have on other people, it's insecurities that just got out the bag. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just like people project things on you, man. It's their own insecurities just popping up like herpes. You know what I'm saying? It's just and people just gotta do it, man. It's like
You are
For real. I'm telling you, bro. It's what it is, man. I see people all the time like, Joker, you corny, man. Leave these young people alone, man. Stop picking on folks, bro.
Yo, check this out real quick. I gotta address Zam in here real quick, right? Because Zam think this is about him, right? But he makes it a good point where he says, because I told him, I said, listen, man, people are here to listen to the convo, not talk to you, right? And he goes, I hear you, but Dre's opening a shop. I want to know how he's designing it, all of that. That's all, my guy. Dre has a academy, bro. Go join his academy. All right, you get close direct access to Dre. Go join his academy.
They want to know what it looks like, what it's gonna look like.
He want to know how you're designing it, your lighting, your flooring, and all of that.
Like, I can say that. That's not
I understand, but what I'm trying to point out to him is that we're in a conversation where we're talking about whatever we're talking about, just to take a left and dive into that because he wants to go there, bro. If you really care to learn from Dre, Dre's got all these different social medias, and more importantly, he's got an academy you can invest in that most people aren't gonna do. Most people aren't gonna invest in it because the 99% of barbers just don't do stuff like that. But if you want to be the 1% of the barber, you got to do what the 1% of barbers do. And if you really, really want to learn how Dre's doing stuff, I'm telling you, when you can really learn from him, work with him and invest with him.
Unless Dre got pictures, like how you flooring, how you gonna talk about flooring and lighting? And design?
Yeah.
Like,
so if you guys got a whole video series, right? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be documenting it. So we should start renovations here in a couple weeks, hopefully.
So when did you sign the lease, Dre? When did you sign the lease, Dre?
Man, so I signed my lease middle of April. I got my keys like May 5th.
Okay. Did they give you any tenant improvement money?
Oh yeah, they gave me 12,000, and then they gave me 3 months free rent with a rent ramp. So like six over 4 months, it gets to the full.
Okay, they gave you a rent ramp. Okay, cool. And your
realtor, they gave me all of it, man. So
your realtor negotiated that for you, or you did?
I did. Me and
how many years did you sign for?
5 with the 5 option.
Okay, good. Yeah. Good. All that sounds good. What I always tell people is like you should get 1 month for every year you sign.
1 month the goal.
Free rent. So 5 years would be 5 months. They gave you 3 in a ramp, so that's equivalent. That's equivalent.
Yeah, it's kind of hard now because like people do look for spaces and are like, and there's the limited. So like they're what they give out is a little more scarce now.
Because they got leverage. They got leverage.
Yeah.
But that's what you should. That's pretty standard, right? And most people, when they do that, they don't do that. You know, what I mean?
would have never known.
Ask for it.
I would have never known unless I learned from someone. You know,
on my school, Mar, that reminds me. I gotta make a video on that. My school, they gave me $43,000 to build out my school.
That's beautiful.
And they gave me 4 months free for a 5-year lease, but permitting and all that was a challenge because of the pandemic and all that stuff, and people were storing in the office. So I ended up not opening for till 8 months in. So I ended up paying rent 4 months.
Yeah, so I'm kind of sad because my 3 months is about to be up at the end of this month, and we haven't even started. Just because of hiccups and blueprints.
Bro, it's crazy.
Life be lifing, bro.
Bro, that's why I tell people, like, when people want to open up a shop and stuff, they're like, man, I could do this. I'm like, bro.
I thought I was going to be done in 2 months.
Bro, I just laugh. Everybody does, bro. Yeah. And then when the owner come in, he got to raise rent or, you know what I mean? He talking about commission or whatever. They're like, man, owner extorting. I'm like, bro, you don't understand the cost to be the boss, bro.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realize, like, in the past 2 years, right, since the pandemic, property values have went up. You know, when you're in a lease, most times you're in a triple net, right? Which is rent, CAM, and taxes. CAM is common area maintenance. So you got rent that's going to go up probably 3% every year. You got CAM fees, which are a percentage of share inside of the shopping plaza. So if they renovate the shopping plaza, that bill coming to you, and you don't get to pick the paint color.
Yeah.
Right? And then, lawn care services, this, that, trash pickup, all this stuff, right? That they just randomly decide to do because they're trying to improve the property because they might want to sell it. And they're passing that cost on to you every year. Oh, this is what maintenance was for the year. It's up. You don't see that bill coming because they don't hit you with that number until that year is up. So you get hit with that. Then they're like, oh, property taxes. Well, values in Atlanta doubled. That property tax due every month, and it doubles. So your expenses might shoot up 600, 700, 800 a month. You're gonna turn around, raise rent, and people gonna act like you extorting because they've never been on the other side, man.
Yeah, the barbers turn into the clients they complain about.
Yeah, facts, bro.
They really do.
Yeah,
barbers. I always think
turn into
it's
the
funny
clients,
when the
yeah.
barbers, because you know how barbers are nowadays. Price going up $20. Sorry if you can't afford it. Thanks for supporting me over the years. Basically, rocks. But then that owner want to go up $10 a month on rent, and they
having a heart attack. Yo,
it's like, bro, how do you not? Okay, he should just understand. Well, that's how your client feels about you, bro. Like.
And then you want to be your own boss and all that, but then when rent go up, all that boss talk, man, it's slow. But
if y'all think going to a studio is cheaper, it's not.
It's not.
And
they got you locked in. They got you locked in for a year. You got to have all your paperwork together. And guess what they gonna do?
You got to furnish yourself.
3 to 5%. They're gonna go up on you every year.
So speaking of the studio, real quick, because I know we are gonna have some people that tune in because it is like I'd say the more trendy thing of the times where people are trying to either go straight from school into suites or leave a barbershop and go to a suite. What is some advice that you could share quick to give them, like, things to do, things to avoid, just to make sure that they're
people wanting to go into a suite?
Yeah, for people, whether they're coming out of barber school or they're leaving from a shop.
Like, I think the last thing the last thing you probably want to do leaving barber school, unless like you're just an anomaly and completely booked, is go to a studio.
Yeah,
because like I said, if you want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible, all you're doing is, if you go from barber school to a studio, is limiting or extending the time it's going to take you to get there, because everything that comes into that space is dependent upon you. At least at almost all studios, because no one walks into studios looking for a haircut, and majority of the time there's women in there, so you're really not going to get any clients walking in, So my suggestion would be, if you're coming out of barber school, you want to join a barbershop and you want to look for the things that we talked about at the beginning, which is the owner of the barbershop or the manager, whoever's leading that barbershop, is in a space that you would like to be. The location is right and there's a lot of traffic, number one. But if you are in a place where you feel like you want to switch things up, you're established, you have good business, you want to go into a studio, just know that you're creating a work for yourself, essentially. Now you do have kind of like a mini barbershop. You have to clean it. You have to re-up your own supplies. If the barbershop you were at did that for you, you have to market yourself. All of that, all those things that somebody else might take care of for you, when you go on your own, you have to do for yourself, essentially.
Did you where you in your studio? Is there other studios around you, like other barbers and stylists too?
Yeah, so I'm the only barber in mine. It's Salon Loft, which is like a really commercial, sweet business. But it's all women. There's like 25 lofts.
Have you seen high turnover, or are people like sticking around for a little while, or
the people that go there?
The people that work in the suites, the salon.
Usually, since it is majority women usually go to those spaces for a reason, and they tend to stay.
Yeah,
but they do have like one that opens every like 6 months, but they do stick. I ain't gonna lie, they do stick.
Yeah, women are, shout outs to the women, bro, because they be about it in a lot of ways, dudes.
Yeah. Every guy who has started there left.
Yeah.
Every single one, whether they were a stylist or a barber. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, that's
no, I believe you, because it's funny. Even with my social media course over the years, bro, like I'll do a promo or something, I'll be like, hit me up, and you have like 9 guys hit you up, 2 girls. The guys never do it. The girls do it.
Bro, the girls will buy.
The guys are giving their money to the girls, and the girls are spending it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about men. I really think it's a pride thing.
Yeah, an ego.
Because I do find that women are more prone to invest in like deeper education than men are, because they're prideful. They feel like they should get it for free.
Women ultimately, they want to be led.
Yeah,
men think they're the leader.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but they don't qualify. It's unfortunate, man.
It's funny, man.
Yeah.
So Dre, we had about 2 hours. I know you said you had 2 hours, so I don't want to hold you up too long. I want to say thank you, bro, for taking 2 hours of your time to kick it with me and Will. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
I know Will's grateful. This is his first time really getting to interact with you, and I know Will was digging it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Y'all are some cool, genuine guys, man. This was fun.
you enjoyed it. How do you feel for your first one, bro?
I'm glad you took the time, man. I always tell people we get people online, like we ain't trying to set nobody up. We try to have basic dialogue and support you. And if we can have a value exchange, then that's cool. We're at the end of the day, me and Marv, our mindset is we want to help the beginner barbers. Everybody's always trying to like level up and do something intergalactic that don't nobody know yet. And we're like, bro, let's just keep it simple, dog. Like, just help the next generation coming along, man. That's how you change the world. It ain't trying to teach an old dog new tricks. It's trying to help the youngest, the newest up and coming individual get on the right track. That's it. That's all we trying to do. It's
100%.
really that simple.
I just feel like it's and like what you're saying, you guys are just some real chill dudes. Like for me, I don't know, man. It's just easier being me. Like I don't got time to like try to, you know what I mean? Like to be something I'm not, or try to, I'm 38 now, so I've lived some life, but I feel like I've always been like this. But I'm just like, I know my intentions. I know what I'm trying to lead with love. I'm trying to empower. I'm trying to leave people in a better spot than I found them in every interaction. So, as long as I know I'm doing that, I'm cool with however it turns out.
It's funny how the process works, because I've been making content for so long. You can literally see me from 18 to now,
Yeah, that's dope.
And you can see how my personality changes over time, because you start off mimicking the people you watch. So I started off sounding like so-and-so, and then it turned into this person, and just little by little you start to like develop your own voice and really come into yourself,
Yeah, because you're getting some experiences.
I say that to say that
you're getting some experiences.
Yeah, and I say that to say because I know a lot of people don't want to start making content because they're nervous. They don't know what to make. It's okay to copy, copy with the intention of turning this into your own thing.
Yeah,
because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Follow the blueprint that was already there.
It starts with the intention, though. That's what you guys gotta understand, because like with the copying. You're right, because it's modeling, referencing, copying, whatever term we use to describe it. But when your intention is right, people can feel that. So even if you're doing what you were doing at the beginning, you're like, y'all sound like so and so, doing like so and so. Your intention was still there, and that's why people could feel it. So you gotta lead with the right.
I would say I like the word modeling more than copy.
I see what you're saying.
Because modeling allows you to still be authentic. A copy is not authentic. It's a copy, right? So you definitely want to model. It's like following trends. Like you're modeling someone's behavior. You're modeling, what I mean, the way someone goes about their business, right? Yeah, you're modeling the way somebody goes about their business. You're modeling somebody's behavior, how they communicate, how they, how they work out. Like you can model somebody, right, and still be authentically you.
That's good.
I think modeling with your authenticity is the mix.
Yeah, I guess that's why they call it a business model. I didn't think about it like that. That's fire.
Yeah.
I gotta stop saying copy, because when I say that in content, people are like, "Nah, bro, that's not right."
Reference is another term that does
reference model, business model, right? We all can have the same business model, but Dre is Dre, Marv is Marv, Stam is Stam. Like it's just you model behavior, right? Versus copy. Model is like close, but a little twist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, model is a better word than copy. But we definitely understood what you meant.
Like these clippers that be copying. So
Yo,
Dre, we appreciate you, man. Any last words you want to leave for the barbers before we wrap it up?
Yeah, man. I really can't stress the importance of content, man, because content really just took like me from an everyday barber to having so much more opportunity. And it's not making content for the sake of making videos. It's to really just put yourself in a better position, because you don't know what that can turn into. You know what I'm saying? So make the content. Yeah, man, just stay hungry. Stay hungry. That's really all I could say, you know.
I love that. And to piggyback off that real quick is just use what you have, right? Use the resources you have, because what stops a lot of people is they want to have the microphone, the hot best lens, the best quality camera and all of that. And sometimes you just need to pull out your phone and press record. Kind of like I told my boy Will.
Yes, bro.
Coming back to YouTube.
I can't wait. I can't wait to edit this, bro. I can't wait, bro.
Like just press record. So use what you have. Be resourceful with what you have. Have it. Tony Robbins said it best, man. It's never lack of resources that stop us. It's lack of being resourceful, that lack of resourcefulness, right? So just using what we got. And most of us have iPhones nowadays. If you don't, you need to at least get an iPhone, bro. You gotta be on the bubble, right? You got an iPhone, game over, right? And it's like me and Will just had a conversation. Will got his phone on a tripod now. He's taking over YouTube again. So get started, guys. Will, you want to leave with anything before we go?
I'm just piggybacking off of kind of what you guys said, man. Just model the people you want to be like. I always tell people, whoever has your ear has your future. And I'm writing a book now that's called What's in Your Hand. And it's so funny we ended with that, because take what you got and do what you can with what's in your hand. All of us have something, whether it's a personality, whether we're funny, whether we're a technician, whether we're, creative, whatever it is, right? We have something we can offer the world. Just be comfortable and content with that and use it. It's already yours. We don't, we try so hard to copy other people. We don't use our best traits. You got to use your best traits, and then you already have them. Everybody got strengths. You were born with strengths and gifts.
Yeah.
Identify what those are by self-awareness, by trying different things, figure out what you are naturally good at, and just do that, and it will make a way for you. It's Bible, but it's so simple.
Barbers.
Yep. Play the cards you've been dealt as if they were the cards you've always wanted.
What's in your hand,
you can't change what you were born into, but you can change the decisions you make thereafter.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to end it. Listen, barbers. Again, Dre, appreciate you. Will, appreciate you. Guys, if you enjoyed this, y'all got an opportunity to watch this for free, right? And y'all feel like this added value to your life. So pay it forward. And when I say that, what I mean is share this with a friend, man. It's going to be available to rewatch, so you guys can rewatch it. Throw it on in the shop tomorrow. Send it to some people in the inbox. If you feel like the conversation helped you, I'm sure there's people in your life that it will help as well. If you don't feel like it helps you, then don't share it. You know what I mean? I'll never ask you to do that.
Right. We want you to be authentically you. Yeah, right? If this was trash, don't throw it in the trash.
Everybody was trash.
It was fire. Put it on the TV, man.
Yes,
don't fake love me. You know what I mean? Don't fake love me.
Yo, and listen, when you guys throw it on in the shop, we love when you do this. So when you throw it on in the shop, take a picture. Tag us in the story, so that way we can show you love. It's always fire that way. So appreciate y'all all for tuning in and rocking with us for 2 hours. Dre, I'm gonna end the stream. Just stay on for like 5 minutes so we can just recap it real quick. So the rest of y'all, we'll tap in with you next Gem Talk. Barbers, take care. We'll talk to you soon.